Now, the first of two reports on the ever-growing student loan debt problem.
Student loans, the crushing debt.
The college education is rapidly rising, far more than the cost of inflation, more than even the cost of health care, but I don't hear a peep about it in the media.
The policy of student loans is a total failure. I mean, $1 trillion of debt.
The colleges need to justify what it is they're doing with our tuition dollars and our taxpayer dollars.
It's becoming more and more and more expensive to go to college.
You are seeing the potential of an economically lost generation.
And the average debt for a college senior right now is over $25,000.
It's time for Congress to stand for the rights of student loan borrowers.
Because in the United States of America, no one should go broke because they chose to go to college.
College. At this time, seniors around the world are just finalizing their college decision. The next chapter in our lives is around the corner, and we are nothing but anxious and excited to fulfill the American dream. However, this dream is becoming less realistic as time goes on.
The cost of college is at its peak, leading students and families into debt. At the time of choosing between colleges, most teenagers are unaware of how this investment can affect their future. Some colleges can cost up to $60,000 a year. Education should not be limited due to the price tag that comes along with it. College should be seen as an opportunity to gain as much knowledge as possible.
Americans owe nearly $1.3 trillion in student loan debt, which consists of about 43 million borrowers. The average college graduate will start off their future in $37,000 in student debt.
My name is Cindy. I majored in biology and I have $35,000 in student. I have a BA in film and television producing and I have a debt of $65,000.
And my debt is about $33,000.
About $130,000.
$80,000.
And as of today, I have $160,000 in debt.
$50,000 in debt.
Just saying this is terrifying, especially to a camera, because it makes it so much more real. No idea what a student loan was when I went to college. My dad just told me we're splitting it. I'm like, okay, and you just have no concept, like when you're younger, what anything costs. When I was 18 and deciding yes that I was going to do this, I kind of did it as a leap of faith. I was like, it's going to work out. This is a huge amount of money. I can't even really fathom how much money this is. So yeah, I'll do it for my education, and it's definitely a stress every day.
I would describe my day as cumbersome.
Crushing.
Inflated.
Astronomical.
Overwhelming. It's negative. I'm chained to something for the rest of my life.
In recent years, states have slashed funding for higher education by 23%. Public institutions have responded by raising tuition rates, forcing students to take out ever larger loans. More than 90% of student debt is subsidised by the federal government, and it all started with such good intentions. Here is one of the federal student loan programme's early champions.
Poverty must not be a bar to learning, and learning must offer an escape from poverty.
Why they charge so much? It is nothing to do with the quality of education.
As recently as the early 1900s, most students did not take out college loans. Today, nearly 71% of students borrow to pay for college.
Most public universities and colleges were founded by state governments to give residents the opportunity to receive college education. Today, state governments pay for most of the cost of operating public universities. However, the average student debt of a public university is $25,000. Private colleges don't receive funds from state legislators. They rely heavily on tuition and private contributions. This means tuition rates are generally higher. The average student debt from a private school is $33,000.
So I went to Roger Williams University for undergrad, and then I got my master's in teaching at Quinnipiac. Student debt is definitely an issue. So a lot of people can't afford to pay for college outright, so they take school loans, college loans, and then they're stuck with those loans when they graduate. How do you fix this? You save. You either save or go to a less expensive school. That's really like what I encourage my students to do. One of the major problems is obviously the rising costs of college. So I went to Roger Williams. I think Roger Williams was like 16 grand when I started going there, and it jumped up to about 20, 23 grand. I think my last year was there. It's now way more than that. And it's not that the education is changing. They're still teaching the same stuff in the classroom. What it is the colleges have gotten in this arms race where every school is like, okay, we have to have an amazing athletic facility. So kids want to come to our school. We need to have a great gym. We need to have a beautiful library. Our dorms need to be redone because the other school that we compete with has better dorms. So there's this arms race where the school is constantly investing money. My opinion on how to choose your school, and I say this to my seniors, and I say, take it for what it's worth. You should go to the least expensive school you can find that has what you want to go into a career for. Do not overpay for college because it doesn't make any sense. Other things that you could do is some people will go to community college for 2 years. So some kids that I know are going to Housatonic for 2 years and then they're going to UConn or Central, and that way they can reduce the costs in a major way. Housatonic is really inexpensive. We're talking just a few $1,000s. So that's one way to defray the cost. Other times people will just work and put off going to college, put the money aside and then sort of chip away at it. The other things that can be done is joining the military, doing 4 years of military service, and then the military pays for your college or the government pays for your college. So those are some other options if money's an issue.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Savakwa. I'm the college and career counselor here at Trimble High School. I attended Drew University in Madison, New Jersey. I majored in psychology and minored in sociology. Okay, so I do believe that student debt is a huge issue facing our students right now, more so than I feel in the past. As far as steps that I feel should be taken, I do feel that educating parents and families as well as students on financial aid options as well as planning for college should start earlier, including in the elementary and middle school levels. I think parents would be receptive to that if we could educate them a little bit more about how they can be planning and the different options that are available. Something that I am impressed with now, again more so than in the past, is I feel that students do have an eye towards their financial stability in college and after, and they're concerned about student debt, as well as for some students the responsibility that their parents are going to have to undertake. So I do have a lot of kids come in and say that they don't want their parents to have to take out large financial loans because of their college education. So as far as students attending community college, I think that's actually a great option and a great financial option for students, especially because typically in traditional four-year colleges, students will be undertaking their first 2 years something called a core set of classes, which are your typical like Psych 101, English 101, Biology 101 classes, which can be taken at the community college level for a lot less money. So if you took it at community college, you could transfer those credits to your 4-year institution. You'll still get your 4-year degree from that institution, but really save a lot of money on the front end. As far as the cost of college currently, I do feel that it has skyrocketed. I can tell you that when I went to college, my college was $35,000 a year, which I feel is a bargain right now in this economy with college. Also, I feel like we've had a recession, obviously, the past few years. People are still getting out on their feet, and yet college is only increasing as far as the cost. When students come to me and they're facing that college decision, and finances is something that they do have to take into consideration, I do recommend that they look really at the long term. So college, for many of our students, it's a 4-year commitment, sometimes even longer based on different programs. So they need to be willing and able to take upon that financial responsibility. If I could go back when I attended college, which I would, there are some things that I would do differently, especially on the financial end. I will admit that when I was 18 and looking at colleges and undertaking that, my parents kind of took on that financial burden, and they filled out my FAFSA, they did all of the forms. I had no idea as far as what my loans were or anything like that. And I know that we did not receive many loans, but it was just something that I was not responsible for or aware of. And I wish that I was a little bit more aware of that process when I was going through it. I was lucky that when I graduated, I didn't have much student debt, so I was able to pay it off immediately upon graduation. So I don't have student debt now, but I wish I did know a little bit more about that process when I was going through it as a student, because I think it actually teaches students about the financial responsibility and about what a commitment and what the cost of education really is. So I think that's something that I wish I was a little bit more aware of when I was a student.
Hi, I'm Ashley Smith. I'm a senior at Trumbull High School, and I'll be attending Eastern Connecticut State University in the fall. My decision to attend Eastern was based on the financial needs of my family. I have an older sister at UConn, and with both of us going to college, my parents can't afford to support us both financially. It's kind of unfortunate because I had worked very hard throughout high school, and I was able to get into every school I applied to. And the schools that I was really looking forward to maybe going to, I wasn't able to afford, such as Providence College or UConn, which were my 2 top choices. I wasn't able to attend either of them because of the money financially. Providence was the first one to be cut off the list because it's out-of-state tuition and a private school, so it was a lot more expensive. And then UConn, even with in-state tuition, my family wasn't able to keep up with the payments for that university for me and my sister as well. Even though I wasn't able to attend the university of my dreams, there are some upsides to going to the more financially sound school. At Eastern, I am in the honors program, and I'm excited because I will have better opportunities to excel there in that program, as well as in the future after graduation. I will come out with less debt, so I won't have that hanging over my head as much as I would if I had attended a bigger university.
Hi, I'm Keely Beeling, and I'm attending Penn State University in the fall. No, not really at all, because I don't think it's worth compromising where you want to go to school based on money. Since I've wanted to go to Penn State forever, the day that I got in, there wasn't really a choice between a school that I got a lot of money to and Penn State. Even though I got basically no money to it, I still would rather go to the school I have been dreaming of than worry about money. And I think it's worth a degree from a good school, graduating from Penn State. I think it's worth the debt kind of.